Have you ever noticed that the harder you try to fall asleep, the more awake you feel? You turn off the lights, close your eyes, and repeat to yourself, "Okay, I need to sleep now." But instead of drifting off, your mind starts racing. You start thinking about everything from unpaid bills to that awkward thing you said 3 years ago. Minutes pass, then hours. You're not relaxing. You're trying to relax. And that's the problem. This strange loop where effort becomes the very obstacle to success is something psychologists and philosophers have been fascinated by for centuries. Aldous Huxley called it the law of reverse effect. The harder we try with the conscious will to do something, the less we shall succeed. Today, we are going to explore this paradox and discover why sometimes the best way to get what we want is to stop forcing it. Let's start with a real-life example. There was a professional golfer named Rick who spent years perfecting his swing. In practice, he was brilliant, fluid, focused, almost effortless. But during tournaments, when everything was on the line, something strange happened. His swing got stiff, his timing off. He'd choke on the easiest shots. The more he tried to play perfectly, the worse he got. Rick's coach noticed it wasn't his technique, it was his mind. He was over-controlling every movement instead of trusting what his body already knew how to do. When he learned to stop forcing perfection, to simply let it happen, his game improved dramatically. That is the law of reverse effect in action. When we try too hard to control something that works best naturally, our conscious interference ruins the flow. In psychology, this is sometimes called the paradox of control or ironic process theory. Harvard psychologist Daniel Wegner famously showed this through his white bear experiment. Participants were told, "Whatever you do, don't think about a white bear." What happened? They thought about it even more. Why? Because our brain doesn't process negation the way we think. To avoid a thought, your mind first has to imagine it. So when we say, "I must not fail this exam," our mind starts playing all the ways we could fail. When we think, "I must relax," we're actually focusing on not being relaxed. Effort, in those moments, feeds anxiety rather than solving it. It's like trying to smooth water with your hands. The harder you press, the more ripples you create. Long before modern psychology, Taoist philosophers in ancient China understood this paradox deeply. They called it Wu Wei often, translated as effortless action or action without struggle. Lao Tzu wrote, "By letting go, it all gets done. The world is won by those who let it go." But when you try and try, the world is beyond winning. That doesn't mean laziness or apathy. It means cooperating with reality instead of fighting against it. Think of a surfer. They don't force the wave, they align with it. Or a dancer. The best movements don't come from counting every step, but from surrendering to the rhythm. The Taoists saw this not as mystical, but practical. When you stop forcing outcomes, your actions become natural, fluid, and precise, because you're not blocked by fear or tension. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called this the flow state, a mental zone where challenge meets skill, and the sense of self fades away. You've probably felt it before when writing, running, painting, or playing music. In those moments, time disappears. You're not trying anymore. You're being. Ironically, you can't enter flow by trying to get into flow. You get there by focusing fully on what you're doing, not on what it means or whether you're doing it well enough. It's when the mind quiets that performance peaks. As psychologist Carl Jung once said, What you resist not only persists, but grows in size. When we resist imperfection, stress, or uncertainty, we feed it. But when we allow things to unfold, we become part of a larger rhythm that carries us forward. You don't have to be an athlete or artist to fall into this trap. We do it every day. You want people to like you, so you try hard to appear confident and end up looking awkward or fake. You try to make a conversation perfect, and it becomes unnatural. You chase happiness like a trophy, and the harder you chase, the further it slips away. Happiness, creativity, confidence, they all share one trait. They arise naturally when you stop demanding them to appear. Philosopher Alan Watts described it beautifully. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. The same goes for your mind, your emotions, your goals. Now, you might ask, so should I just stop caring altogether? Not quite. The point isn't to do nothing, it's to act without tension. Here are a few simple ways to practice that balance. 1. Detach from the outcome. Focus on doing instead of achieving. For example, don't try to write a great novel. Just write a few honest sentences. 2. Use micro goals. Instead of, I must run 10 miles, say, I'll start running and see how I feel after 5 minutes. Small steps reduce pressure. 3. Allow mistakes. Perfectionism feeds paralysis. Let your first draft be messy. It's supposed to be. 4. Switch environments. When you're stuck, leave your desk. Walk, shower, cook. Many breakthroughs happen during unrelated tasks. 5. Observe. Don't control. When anxiety hits, notice it. Name it. Don't fight it. Paradoxically, that's what makes it fade. 6. Trust your unconscious. Your mind keeps working behind the scenes. Give it silence and space. Remember, not trying doesn't mean not caring. It means caring wisely. Nietzsche once wrote, one must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star. But chaos can't be forced into order. Creativity, joy, and peace are not machines you can operate through sheer willpower. The law of reverse effect reminds us that control is not the same as power. Real power often comes from trust in yourself, in timing, in the process. When you stop fighting the current, you begin to move with it. When you stop trying to prove your worth, you start to express it naturally. And when you stop demanding life to go your way, you start to see that maybe it already is. So here's the paradox. To gain control, you must release control. To find calm, stop chasing calm. To succeed, stop obsessing over success. The more you loosen your grip, the steadier your hands become. It's not about doing less, it's about doing differently. As the Taoists taught, nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. So next time you feel stuck, pause, breathe, and maybe, just maybe, stop trying so hard. If this message resonated, subscribe for more psychology and philosophy for real life. Sometimes the most profound change begins when you finally let go.